I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Sxkyu to the program. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself
Yeah.
to everybody.
Yeah, my name is Sxkyu, or just Q is acceptable. I use he, him pronouns. I call myself a variety streamer, though I tend to stream mostly visual novels. And I have a lot of guests, usually a lot of friends joining me for that. But I also tend to do weekly art nights as well on Wednesdays, and I have a bunch of friends kind of joining in random for that as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you are an artiste?
Yes, I actually drew my model art too, which is very fun.
Excellent. So what we're seeing now on the screen is you're doing.
Yes, actually.
Good job. That's neat. And far better than I will ever do in my entire life if I studied to try to do something like that. So let's talk a little bit about that art. How long have you been interested in doing that?
I've been doing art like pretty much since I was a kid. I actually started more or less seriously doing art back in like 2011 as an 11-year-old. But my approach was like, I'm going to teach myself animation before learning art properly. So that was an interesting ambition for an 11-year-old.
Okay.
But that's how I started.
Yes,
I'm going
to try to learn how to steer this rocket ship before I can drive a car. Thank you very
much. Basically. 11-year-old minds work differently, man.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. I remember it well. So how did that go?
It went mostly well. Eventually, I stopped doing animation as much, but I did a lot more like drawing in general, mostly in my sketchbooks.
Mm-hmm.
But then in like 2018 is when I finally got my iPad Pro and I started using Clip Studio Paint. So I've been doing a lot of digital art since then.
Yeah. Would you rather do it on the computer or in the book?
At this point, I do really like how quote-unquote easier it is to do digital art because it's a lot easier to undo and also like tweak things. But traditional also still has its benefits, and it like also prompts you to be more comfortable with making mistakes as well, which is, I think, very important.
You come right out and admitted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, if I was doing something for something that was going to be permanent, I would want something where I could hit an undo button and then realize that I shouldn't have undid it and re-undo it.
Yeah.
Put it back there and not lose the entire project. And when I do something like that, I watch my wife. She does some painting every once in a while, and by golly, sometimes she paints the same thing 6-7 times because she messed up one color on the painting, and there's nothing you can do when that happens.
Yeah.
So I can certainly see that in your favor. So have you been doing, when you do art now, is it for yourself or for somebody else?
It's a mix. I've been doing commissions a little more regularly since I got my VGen account, actually. VGen's been really helpful to have a specific place to redirect people to. But also, I make art to sell at like anime conventions as well. Some cool prints and stickers.
Yeah, that's cool. I always ask this, but it really fascinates me about the process between making something and then showing somebody what you're doing and them buying it. That's a concept that sounds easier than it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I just made it. Now I'm going to offer it. Now, no, you put a piece of yourself into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how do you get over that, or has it become old hat for you?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know.
I just don't know. I just do it.
Yeah.
Give me money.
Sometimes it's be that way. Have you seen the economy?
Just smash the painting over their head. Give me your money now. You took it. You broke it, you bought it. Give me money. Call the police on them.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, it's like my old thing. I said I'd fill a water pistol with water and go baptize everybody, whether they want to or not. You're in my church now. You know, it didn't sit well with my wife. The but the for you, so it does. It's not a big problem showing your stuff to other people.
Not really. Like, there's some stuff that, like, if I'm particularly unhappy about, like, certain details, I'll still kind of keep it to myself.
Mm.
But I'm definitely more accustomed at this point to just kind of showing what I make after I make it, so long as I remember to actually post it.
When is it done? Do you ever have it done, or is it done when you can't see it anymore?
A little bit of the latter.
Chase a guy out to the car. I'm not done yet. No, wait. Get away from me. I want it as is. Now artists tend to have the. I can always do one little better thing on that on it.
Yeah.
So do you have trouble? Do you really have trouble finishing something like that?
I want to say in the past more I did,
Hmm.
but now I've just kind of gotten used to the point of like doing my best to actually complete something before moving on to the next.
Hmm.
Not always. I do have some work in progress that I need to dust off,
Hmm.
but I do usually like to finish what I'm working on first before I move on to the next thing, and that's helped a lot.
Yeah. When you're doing commissions for other people, that would be really tough on me if I had any modicum of talent to do this sort of thing. Um, because it wouldn't be my vision so much as their vision. Has that been a problem for you?
Not really, because a lot of my clients have been like, well, you're the artist, so you know better than I do,
Mm.
or they don't necessarily have a specific vision they have in mind. And so they're like, yeah, you can decide the pose, or you can decide the everything almost. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All I want is green eyes. Go. And
Yeah.
just show them two green eyeballs and hand it back to them. um, so it's easy for you to kind of put together what they want. Or does it take a little while for you to? If somebody gives you a general description, does it take a while for you to get the vision? Is what I'm trying to say.
Interesting way you decided to phrase that, because I actually don't have like a mind's eye, so I don't have the ability to actually envision it in my head.
Mm.
So I think part of what helps is that like in order for me to like kind of figure out what they're seeing most likely is I actually have to draw it out anyways.
Mm.
So
So, so it's not. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, and immediately go and start painting.
yeah,
Yeah, it's trying to work out what you. So you have to be satisfied with it first before they are.
a little bit, yeah.
Wow. Now, have you ever gotten to the point where someone has bought your art and you didn't like it?
Not immediately, but like sometimes over like some time has passed, it's like, oh, that's actually not that great. I could definitely do that like a lot better now, type of thing.
They they never they may leave the house, but they never they never leave the heart.
Yeah.
Empty nest syndrome for artists. Oh, I can definitely see that, and you kind of revisit it. Well, that's true in anything, though, isn't it? I mean, after you see yourself in a
Yeah.
couple years, oh, I could have definitely pronounced that better, or whatever that sort of thing. Um,
Hmm.
it happens. Now, has it happened to you in streaming? Have you finished a stream and then said, oh, I could have done that much better?
Mm, that's a very good question.
Uh,
I want to say like not necessarily, but like definitely like my earlier streams were definitely not as good
mm.
compared to where I'm at now. And
Oh
I think
yeah.
a lot of that is just having to learn basically because I just kind of threw myself into streaming actually
Yeah.
with doing Inktober, so I could actually get around to doing that properly for once because it was a thing I was wanting to do for years, but then I just kept not doing it, and so streaming was like kind of the perfect gateway into actually starting that.
Ah.
But it's definitely more of like the presentation that I don't like anymore about my older streams. So
Mm,
like the overlays
yeah.
and audio actually too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody's got that in the first few
Hmm.
because you don't really exactly know how things are going to look until you do it in that
Yeah,
instance.
basically.
And then you don't know how it's going to sound until you do it. Then you're like, oh, I know. And just start again. We'll start that one from scratch. um, so what was the biggest thing that stands out? If you look back, Joe, what's the biggest thing that stands out between then and now as far as you streaming? The difference.
Hmm.
Comfort level?
Yeah, definitely comfort level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to think of what else. I guess just general skills because like everything else, streaming is a skill and
Mm,
just something you have to develop over time.
yeah. 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 It's believe it or not, it's not always a natural thing to come in and talk into a microphone and try to entertain people that are out there and keep
Yeah.
keep yourself involved in it. There's a few things do happen in that meantime. Um,
Hmm.
so what made you decide to get into it in the first place?
Actually, one of my friends, he was streaming before me, and that's actually got me to look into actually watch streams on Twitch.
Hmm.
And I also started watching Iron Mounts' streams properly too. So just like the inspiration of both of them, it's like, hey, this is something I could do too very easily.
Yeah.
And as mentioned before, perfect prompt for me to actually do Inktober as well.
You say prompt, I say excuse.
Yeah, that too. Same difference sometimes.
Look it up in the dictionary. It's the same thing. um, but yeah, but it did get you involved in it, and it wasn't while it was kind of a tool to get you, a burr in the saddle to go do this. It was also something that interested you enough to keep going, and you didn't just go for 1 month and stop. So what continues to draw you to stream?
Hmm. That's a very good question. Not something I never really sat down and thought about before.
Yeah.
But like now that I'm like officially 4 years into this, there's something there, surely.
Something, whether it's just 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 reflex action or suddenly find
I
yourself
guess
behind the
it's just
microphone.
fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the biggest thing is that you're having fun doing it, and
Hmm.
and obviously you've got a lot of people now that you say you're working with all the time, and
Yeah.
that sometimes that's really tough for people to find people to be comfortable enough to collaborate with in any situation. How did that all come about for you that you were able to get these folks to be on with you?
Honestly, a lot of it was just kind of happenstance because you don't necessarily pick who you're going to meet with networking, just in general, let alone online.
Hmm.
So, like, some of them are just like, oh, friends of friends, or one of them specifically, they actually made like a call out post for networking on the ENVTubers server, and we connected there, and we've just been friends since. Sometimes things just kind of work out like that.
Yep. Actually, folks, if you go to that server, and well, I'm going to do a little advertising for my own self here. Um, pretty much all of the interviews I have done are posted over there in the promotions um, section of that. If you do head over there, but you know, hit the YouTube first. I really would appreciate it if you hit the YouTube first. So for you getting behind the microphone, was it a strange experience for you, or was it something you've done before?
It wasn't necessarily something I've done before, but it wasn't strange either.
Mm.
It just kind of clicked naturally in a way.
Mm. So you were pretty comfortable with just sitting behind the mic in front of the computer and talking.
Yeah, like it does help that like before I started streaming, I asked a bunch of former coworkers, it's like, hey, what time would like work most consistently for you to like kind of drop in? So I kind of had an expectation to have like a few friends pop in every
Yeah,
now and then at the very least.
yeah,
So like I knew it was like, just to be talking to the void.
yeah,
So
yeah. Or talking to three people you don't know who just sit there.
yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong? Hello? Are you bots? That sort of thing. But it does,
Mhm.
I think that's very underrated what you just said about having somebody there to not necessarily be a safety net, but maybe a guide wire um, to to talk with, and then you get more used to that sort of um, not seeing who you're talking to deal while you're playing a game or while you're doing artwork or something along those lines, because that's not it's not really a natural thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so nowadays, are you completely comfortable with the setup?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's old hat to you now, huh?
Yeah. Bit
Yeah.
of a routine now.
Yeah. Is it so? As far as being able to stream, how many times a week are you able to?
I actually stream almost every day except for Tuesday and Saturday at this point.
Mm. So it's a you're a full time streamer basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough to do and like you know live
Yeah.
pay bills and stuff and all that. Um, has it worn on you having to keep that schedule and still bringing in money?
I mean, yes and no,
Yeah.
because my family does rely on government programs, which is part of why I'm able to do this.
Hmm.
But I also just can't really work a normal job either due to disability. So it just kind of works out
Yeah.
in a way.
Oh well, yeah. I mean this has been a chance for a lot of folks who can't for one reason or another, whether it's a disability or whether they just something has happened and they can't do it. Um,
Hmm.
you get to blossom here, and you get to grow on this particular medium much better than you can in off the computer and meeting people
Yeah.
and working with them. Um, that's that's. Do you look back on where you were and where you are now and wonder how you got there?
Sometimes, yeah.
Now people all over the world know you.
Yeah.
You can't hide now. You're getting away with nothing. So when you did have your first person come back to your stream, somebody that you didn't know in person, how did that hit you?
Hmm.
Was it a was it an ego boost? Was it a wind beneath your wings moment, or did it just scare the crap out of you?
Not necessarily any of those.
Oh,
I guess I go into this without like a whole lot of expectations.
yeah.
So like it's just kind of a pleasant surprise when people like come back
Hmm.
too. But also people just usually come back too sometimes.
Hmm.
Not always. Sometimes people show up just for the one stream, they
Yeah.
follow and then just never return.
Yeah.
But you also get the people that will like show up every now and then too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, hard to gauge exactly how it made me feel.
Yeah. It's something to think about when you realize that there are people who you'll never meet in person, maybe ever talk to, as far as this goes, and get voice back, that will build their schedules around you in some way to come on and see what you're up to.
Hmm.
I mean, that's usually pretty good for anybody's ego.
Yeah.
I have control. That's that sort of thing. Um, how how do you explain that to previous you, pre-streaming you? If you were to talk to them and say, look, this is what you're going to be able to do.
I feel like past me wouldn't believe a single word I said, I'll be honest.
Like you're lying and go away.
Yeah.
That's that sort of thing. So,
Mhm.
does it? Would you say that your success has surprised you?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I would. Because I would say I'm fairly successful at my size. Because, like, I'm still really small, things considered, but I'm also doing really well for myself and
Yeah.
kind of not necessarily always have, but for the most part of my streaming career, I would say I have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you have people accepting you like that. Um, that that's a feeling. It's very hard to put into words sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
Gratitude is one usually
Hmm.
that you have with it, but also you kind of get this. That's where people get their imposter syndrome type thing. After a while, is it really they're coming for me? Why? Then they must be
Hmm.
making a mistake. Has that ever hit you while you've been streaming?
Never while I'm actively live, but definitely offline sometimes. It's like, huh, weird. Have all these people coming back for I don't know what. I'm just a little guy here.
Why me? So the visual novel games that you do, what's been your favorite so far?
Ooh, that's a little hard to say. As an overall series, I definitely want to say the Science Adventure series,
Okay,
which more people know the title Steins Gate from.
okay.
And as much as I love Steins Gate, I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite in the series because I like Chaos Child and Chaos Head more.
Mm. And these are stories that kind of funnel you to the end, or are there branching storylines?
They both all of the Science Adventure series games have multiple endings, but there's like one true end
Mm.
that definitely feels more final, but the other routes also feel necessary
Mm.
before you get to that point as well.
Ah. So it does have replayability because you want to get all
Yes.
those endings. Yeah. Sometimes you get
Hmm.
a really good game like that, and you get into it, and it funnels you toward the one end, and you're like, I don't really want to find any other ending. I found the good ending, and I'm good with it. Have you had that happen with one of those games?
Not really. Sometimes I do like to find out the bad ends first and like get all the little ones out of the way. And like no matter how short. Actually, one visual novel I played earlier this year from an indie game, just Zeus smites you, and that's it. That's the bad end, just kind of out of nowhere. It's like, oh, huh, neat.
For no apparent reason, and Zeus smites you. That the end.
Yeah.
It seems like they ran out of ideas at that point. It's about running a restaurant, and then suddenly Zeus smites you. Like happy time restaurant, and then as soon as the customer comes in, bam, down you go. We didn't have time to finish it. Oh, now that's the type of ending that I would do in a game. I would just have just some random death ending. A dragon comes and burns you while you're getting into your car or something like that. So completely out of the blue. Have you ever had some of these games completely mess you up like that, where it swerves a way that you didn't even think about?
There's definitely been some unexpected twists, like trying to think. Because I've played so many, it's kind of hard to keep record of all of them too.
Yeah.
I guess because of recency, I've started playing the Yakuza series, so not a visual novel, but Yakuza has a lot of unexpected, like emotional twists,
Yeah.
and like the overall theme of these games are like more on the silly side. So just like, okay, where's this heavy twist from? All
Yeah.
of a sudden,
Oh, it just is really dark. and
yeah,
and then you're like, you're playing mahjong or something. Like what?
yeah,
How how did that happen? Uh, you're in a firefight and then pachinko shows up. What the heck? I actually have played pachinko a couple times. I have no idea what I was doing. Um, it was there in I had a quarter. Like,
That's fair.
okay, well, that certainly was something. And go on to Donkey Kong. Um, the For you being an artist and getting into a game like that, will the artwork affect how you enjoy one of those visual novels?
Not really.
Mm. You don't.
Like, if the story is strong enough on its own, the actual visuals don't matter too much.
Mm, you don't look at it with an artist's eye, like, I would have done it that way.
I mean, sometimes, but it's not necessarily worth it to, like, say, mention in a stream. Because, like, if it doesn't detract from the story, who cares in a
Yeah,
lot of ways?
yeah. And two, the art style might be completely different than what you like too. So, um,
Yeah.
it and the art style has to fit the story. You don't want, you know, you don't want to do a Danganronpa with um, Mario Brothers pixels. And it's not going to work like that. Um, I mean, it might. Actually, somebody should try that and see if it does work. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of would like to see that now. But
Mhm.
the if it's like Undertale. Undertale's doesn't have the greatest graphics in the world, but they fit. They fit the game
Yeah.
perfectly. Um, have you seen some games while you've been doing this where the graphics don't really fit the game?
I don't think so.
Well, whether or not they're too good for the game or not good enough for the game.
Yeah, I don't think I've really encountered that,
Mm,
actually.
mm, that's good. That's cool. Have you wanted to do one of these games on your own? Make one?
Yeah, like, definitely mostly just the art. I don't think I have the wherewithal to, like, do necessarily more than that, but I think it would be a lot of fun to be an artist for a visual novel.
Well, do one without words.
True.
Yeah, they have to react to, have like the little shining lights on the screen when they have to react to
Yeah.
it. A or B, A or B, and if they pick B, they're smite by Zeus. Down they
That'd
go.
be really funny, actually.
Every time you click B, Zeus hits you with a lightning bolt. It's see, games are a lot easier to do when you just do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Uh,
random game overs, just for
yes.
the fun of it.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So, what have you got some goals for yourself for your channel, or are you are you satisfied with cruising where you are after 4 years?
I'm definitely satisfied, but, like, can't help the nagging feeling of wanting more. Like, it'd be really cool to get to partner on Twitch, but I'm also not gonna hold my breath on it
Mm.
either,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Is it within reach?
Not anytime soon, but maybe.
Yeah, it's not out of the possibility. It's just, you know, the effort to get there is sometimes overwhelming for folks.
Hmm.
And then you start not enjoying what you're doing, and that's that balance you have to do. Um, and that's I don't know whether that's worth it or not in the long run.
Yeah.
Money is usually always worth it, speaking from radio experience. Uh, but if you do something to the point where you're not enjoying it anymore, then you kind of spit the bit as far as that goes. Um,
Hmm.
have you gotten to that point occasionally where it's just, okay, I've done what I want to do. I'm going to move on to something else.
I mean, I guess sometimes with, like, specific, like, games, like, okay, that's all I wanted to do in this game, let's move on. But, like,
Yeah.
as far as, like, actual, like, life goals and, like, job choices, not really.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's that keeps a lot of frustration out when you can
Hmm.
you do something like that. And what would you be doing if this wasn't here? If you didn't have this medium to show off your skills and enjoy being around folks. Um, yeah, it'd be pretty tough to get this kind of experience anywhere else, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a, I wouldn't say you know, life saving event, but maybe altering, certainly, to
Hmm.
get this sort of thing, and be able to pick up the microphone and talk to people around the world, with a potential audience of 90% of the planet. Not trying to freak you out or anything, but one of these days, if the zeros go off the screen, you know what happened.
It's so true.
Where they start doing that weird, 8M times 5 thing, then that's what happened. Um, if you get to the end of this year and things have progressed to the point where the partner is within sight, would you put your pedal to the metal and try to hit that goal?
Probably.
Yeah, yeah. It's is it what would you do to that? I mean, would you try to promote yourself more? Would you try some gimmicky streams? What would you do?
Hmm. These are very good questions.
Putting you on the
I'd
spot.
maybe try to find a way to like give back to the community, like maybe some sort of like art giveaway or something like that
Yeah,
as like incentives to
yeah,
for the push to
yeah. Some type of charity stream, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, that's always good. I like to hear when people want to give back to that, and that's so always a good thing. Has VTubing in general helped your overall mental health?
I want to say yes, but I can't really put into words in what ways, if that
Mm,
makes sense.
it absolutely does. It absolutely does. It certainly seems it's very calming for you, in a way. And that in itself, being having something be a peer you can tie to, something that's
Hmm.
there that you can hang your hat on. That that, that means a lot to some folks. And does that play an important part for you too?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, and being knowing that you have this coming up and you can plan for it, and and come on, and everything actually work the way it's supposed to.
Maybe not always works all the time, but most of the time it works just as planned.
Yeah, yeah. So if I were to say I wanted to commission something from you, what types of commissions do you take?
I offer chibi illustrations, full illustrations. I also do emotes. I
Hmm.
also do surprise me style. So like if you don't know what you want, but you know like what character you want me to draw,
Hmm.
I'll draw that character
Hmm.
however I see fit, more or less. Um, I also have reference sheets open right now. That's a new service that I'm offering,
Oh,
and
reference
that's
sheets. That's
yeah,
it. That's interesting. Let's say that those are of the models, right?
or just the character design. It doesn't have to be for the model.
Mm, that's good. We're going to have all the links up in the description here, including the link tree, and I imagine they can get to your business dealings through the link tree.
Yes.
Wow! So folks check that out and find out what this wonderful artist has going for you. So if I tune into your stream the next time up, what am I going to see?
Well, I'll next be streaming tomorrow. I'll be trying out Inscription.
Hmm. Yeah, you want to you go for the horror, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
usually I opt for like psychological horror because that's what's more common in visual novels,
yeah,
but
yeah. You do kind of. It's kind of tough to jump scare you in a visual novel. Maybe they can throw you off a little bit, but that's one of those long con horrors where you're playing till the end and things get worse and worse as you go.
yeah.
Yeah. Would you play a like a phasmophobia or anything like that?
Uh, maybe not 100% sure because I don't like do well with like chase sequences
Ah,
specifically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, it wouldn't even be the chase. I just, it's got me. Yeah. Like even me, my current where I'm right now, I told folks, says I'm not going to run for anything. He said, "What if a dog chases you?" I said, "Well, he's going to get a big lunch. That's what's going to happen there. I might not make it an easy lunch, but it's still going to be a lunch for him. I ain't going anywhere for that. Um, is it a balance thing for you as far as the chase stuff? Because a lot of folks have trouble with that sometimes.
I generally don't know. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah, yeah. Some folks get kind of a vertigo from that. Where I know there's some folks who can't do first person shooters because of the angles of how they look at
Mm,
stuff. And of course, when they have that problem, virtual reality is right out. As
yeah.
that would be way too much to deal with. Have you done virtual reality before?
Not on stream, but actually a really long time ago. The first time I tried a VR headset was at a small like college convention. They
Yeah.
had Oculus Quest set up for people to
Mm.
play Beat Saber.
Oh yes.
So that was my first time playing VR and it actually went well for
Yeah.
me.
You didn't have any
Hmm.
didn't have any ERPs while you're doing it? No dizzies?
Not that I remember.
I'm pretty positive that I would fall down at least once.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that's before I even put the helmet on. And then
Oh no.
and then once the VR started, it's really like on the ground. Help! Get this off of me. Um, so if you want to play a certain game on stream, is there a game that you haven't been able to play yet that you'd really like to?
I feel like there's a lot of games that meet that criteria, but they're mostly just games that I don't own yet, so
Mm.
that's kind of the main reason.
Well, yeah, that would be. I don't have them. That's why I can't like. I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
Can't drive my Mercedes because I don't have one.
exactly.
It does tend to be the main thing if you don't. But do you have one in that on your sidelines that you've been meaning to start up, but it just haven't found the right time yet?
I don't think so. Not right now.
Mm. So you're pretty well set as far as your next couple of games anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you plan that way out in advance, or do you finish one and then decide then?
It depends. Sometimes it kind of ends up being on a whim, but usually I do plan things more in advance.
Mm. Yeah. Well, it does help out, but have you ever had to change those plans?
Yes, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the Science Adventure series,
Mm-hmm.
I was originally going to play the newest installment for that anonymous code, but the game refuses to work properly with my computer because I stream on a Mac. Um,
Oh boy. Yeah.
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 So I wasn't able to play that. So I had to kind of figure out how I was going to adjust that.
Mm.
And that actually was what freed up my Saturdays. Like, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna not stream on Saturdays anymore and just have that kind of be a free space for things like this
Yes.
or whatever else.
Yeah. Is it tough to get the streaming programs to work with a Mac?
No, the streaming program is actually the easy part. The hard part is the games if they're like Windows only, but
Yeah.
I actually use Crossover, which I do have an affiliate link in the link tree. um,
And but
and
just
that
by the way, if you want to check out the link tree,
yeah.
yeah.
But Crossover helps most games work pretty well, or at least most games that I'm interested in.
Mm.
It's more infrequent where a game just doesn't work outright like anonymous code.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they tried to do that way back in the '80s with because when I first got the first computer I had was the Commodore 64. I
Hmm.
am old. Um, but it was pretty much software then was between Commodore and IBM. So some games would come out only for the Commodore and some only for the IBM, and people were trying to get something that would cross over and you could work with both. No, not
Mm.
not with the little bit of computer space you had then. It wasn't going to work properly. Um,
Hmm.
but now you can kind of emulate it a little bit. Are you able to get some of these games that aren't Mac friendly to work?
Yeah, because the way crossover works is that it's a compatibility layer. So, like
Uh-huh.
how Linux can play Windows games using Proton and Wine,
Hmm.
same thing, just on the Mac.
Yeah, there's no lag or anything to it.
Nope.
Yeah, that's cool. So my best guess, because I know very little about it, and my computer skills are limited to a Commodore 64, um, is maybe it creates like a virtual machine in there or something. Uh,
Virtual machines are an option. The way those work is just like setting up
yeah,
basically a completely different like Windows. Sometimes a partition in your hard drive,
yeah.
but this is just a compatibility layer. It is blatantly on my Mac still. It's not on like a digital or partition of Windows.
Mm. Does the Mac work better, you think, for the artwork?
Um, I do draw on my iPad specifically, so I'm not entirely sure about the programs themselves on
Mm.
Mac natively,
Yeah.
but since I'm using an iPad already, it's really convenient to just set up
Hmm.
on OBS for capturing my iPad
Yeah.
because I can just like add it as like a video capture directly as long as my iPad's plugged in. Whereas if I were like on Windows for streaming, I would have to find a separate program to in order to capture the iPad screen.
Yes. See, this is a low key commercial for Apple products. Hopefully, you get some free stuff.
I wish.
Sponsor them. No, when you get into something like that and you make it work, you don't want to you don't feel froggy enough to jump anywhere else. You just want to stay where you are and keep going as far as that goes. Do you have any programs in your sites for something else as far as the artwork is concerned? Is there a big time program you'd love to have for your setup?
Not necessarily. Like, I use Clip Studio Paint on my iPad, which I also have an affiliate link for, actually.
check
um,
check the check the link tree for more.
yeah,
This has become a
but it would
marketing
be nice to
lesson.
have like a graphics tablet to use with my computer, so that way, like, my iPad isn't the only thing I'm using.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can use the iPad to draw onto the computer, something like that, I guess. But I see. I can't. For one thing, I developed a little bit of a shake on my hand, so it would be very tough to do. Secondly, I would be
Mm.
terrible at it. Thirdly, is I never had the fluidity, being either left-handed or right-handed, to do something like that. When you first started on the tablet, um, did you find that hard to do at the beginning, or were you able to keep a smooth flow of everything?
So there is this fortunate thing with digital art that like you can set brush stability,
Mm.
so that will actually ease any like shakiness because I actually do deal with some shaky hands myself
Mm.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So the brush smoothness helps a lot with that.
Ah, good. Now, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it just see it might be cheating, but I don't care. It works. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. There you go. As long as the product is there. So how many commissions are you working on right now?
Currently none actually.
Ah, so let us once again promote the link tree. Make sure and check out all the links we have. We have plenty of them for Sxkyu on the description for this video. And it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you. It's great to see you're getting this chance to show us what you got and spread your wings in a situation that might be really tough for you to do in the meantime. Congratulations for that, and thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.